Welcome, Coleman, Japan. My name is John. I am the manager here at the Coleman Factory Outlet here in Wichita, Kansas. Welcome, like I said before. We have the total outdoor shopping. We have a representation of what Coleman makes. By no means is it everything Coleman makes, but this gives you an idea of what we have here to choose from. This one's set up basically to accommodate for the outdoors. You've got your camping totally in mind here, with regards from everything from the tents to the coolers to the sleeping bags to the stoves to the lanterns. We do the seasonal with the water recreation, and then also in the winter and the fall with the heaters and the fire pits. I believe this opened back in 1994. The catalytic heaters in the wintertime, your water wreck in the spring and the summer. For the most part, the tents and everything else included, the lanterns, the stoves, everything else is really year-round for us. The road trip grills are very popular, and they go through two phases. We'll do a big deal in the spring from a standpoint of because of going out to the lake and that type of thing. And then we'll get another big push on them in the fall with football season for tailgating and that type of thing. Well, we have everything from the little kids to the people in wheelchairs. I mean, there's no age limit with us. Then we also do a lot of business with people that grew up with Coleman. So.
My name's Cliff Brown. I've been with the Coleman Company for 21 years, and I've been servicing on the bench for about 19 years of that. And what we do here is we have the consumers, which this is camp stove that we're fixing on now, repairing. We do about sometimes around 3,000 to 4,000 pieces. Like these old products here, people have a lot of sentimental value to them. You know, they've raised their kids with it. And then now their kids are camping. They usually, they will buy a new one, but they like to have their old one fixed. And so there's a lot of sentimental value to the products that we repair. This is some of our parts right here. We could still fix products from the early 1900s. I just repaired a lamp before you came yesterday, and the guy picked it up, and it was 1909.
Sheldon Coleman, who was the owner of Coleman Company, he believed in service of the company. He believed that the product was never sold until it was serviced. The customer was happy with the service. So this service area has been around from when the very beginning of the company, so that we could service the product, and that's always been real important. So.
The gold lanterns here were done for gold bond stamps, and that was something that when you made a purchase, you got these stamps and you collected those and put them in a book, and after you got so many books of stamps, you could go redeem those books for products. And we did those, and that's a very big collectible in today's world. Right? That's kind of what we refer to as our Elvis cooler. In 2002, we made the Olympic torch for the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. That was made right here in Wichita. We made 14,000 torches. This is, of course, the trail that the torch took throughout America, and then this is the route it took when it was in Wichita with the Olympic flame, which was kind of special. This is a cooler we made that was celebrated the 50 years of coolers here. You'll see Sheldon's likeness on the front of it. He was the one that drove us to get into the cooler business. So
I set up this museum originally, and it didn't look like this. But it was just put together in 3 sections case, and that would have been 1948. And they wanted it. We bought space into a museum, overall museum of products made here in this area in Wichita. Yes, this museum is here under glass and stuff there. We also have some other side over the north wall over that way. Now that was originally a traveling museum. We had all those products were into a large trailer that made all over the country. And we don't use that same trailer anymore, and so they just decided to put it down here.
you know, the company started in the late 1800s when W.C. Coleman. W.C. Coleman was a typewriter salesman, and he had pretty poor eyesight, but loved to read. And one night while he was in a room in Blockton, Alabama, he was reading his book, and he saw a bright light in the window across the street. He went across to that store and got the name off of that light. It was from the Herbie Gillian Company in Tennessee. And he thought, well, I can sell those lights. And so he went to Tennessee, sold his typewriters, and bought all the lamps he could buy, and started to go out to sell these lamps. This is a picture of W.C. Coleman with the GI pocket stove, his son Sheldon, and his other son Bud. Old advertising. This would have been a replication of one of the older advertisements that we did. This is just various different types of propane, how it's evolved over the years. Bulk bottles as well. Coleman was into the ranges for a while, and we made home ranges. If you'll see this picture over here, you see the building over here on the far right that says the Coleman Company? That's where we're at right now. The one that has Coleman Vertical across the street, that was the old offices, and see back across the railroad tracks way back there. So it was 6 square blocks. Very big. This was the first one manufactured by Coleman. This is the arc lantern, which was the first portable lantern that we made. W.C. was a great salesman, and he loved to sell people, and he would travel around lots of times, and as the tale goes, he would go to somebody's front door and knock and say, "I'm lost, can you help me?" And he'll open his map, and the guy would try to tell him, and W.C. would say, "Well, I can't see very well." He says, "Let me get my lamp out of the car." And he'd go to the car, and he would bring this back, and he would say, "Now show me." And the man would show him, and he would say, "Where did you get that lamp? That's a great light." He says, "Well, I sell them." And he would usually sell that farmer 1 or 2 lamps before he left. He was never lost. He was just a good salesman. there was a gentleman down south that bought a bunch of shrimp, put in a Coleman steel cooler with ice, and was bringing them back home. On the way home, his car caught fire and it burnt to the ground. And the fire department came and they put the fire out, and he still had his cooler there, although the outside was smoked up and damaged and everything else. But when he opened it up, it still had ice in it, and still the shrimp were still good. But I'll just tell you, as far as lanterns go, you know, my favorite one is my own story. And when I was 13 years old, I sold Grit newspapers. It was a weekly publication out of Pennsylvania. And I would go door to door selling these for a dime. And part of what you got for doing this was you got to earn points. And I'll never forget that the points I saved up was for my first Coleman lantern. It's a 220 lantern. I still have it. Fairly good, and it's been through so many memories with me and my family that you know, it's something that I will cherish forever. It makes me understand a lot more how this brand has gotten that identity and what it does mean to the people out there today. Is because of those types of experiences.
I enjoy talking to people about the older things that we made, as well as what we're making today. As a matter of fact, I told them when I retired, I said, I'm retiring because there are certain things I want to do. And one of those was to write a book, and others, I started this International Coleman Collectors Club. Yeah, I'm the historian.
Yes,
That's
right.
what that says.
无地胖。这个